TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Whose idea was it for the karate gimmick?
My idea, because I did not want to go back as superstar Billy Graham. The flamboyant, I felt like I was defeated. The loss took the wind out of me, depressed me. So I said, I'm not going to go back as superstar Billy Graham. I'm going to come back almost as an imposter. And lo and behold, people didn't think it was the real superstar Billy Graham. Philadelphia, those fans refused to believe that I was the guy who was there a couple years ago. Because by then, I had gotten gaunt, drugs had taken over, shaved head, black mustache, black karate stuff, skinny. And they refused to believe that I was the original superstar Billy Graham. And so, to this day. And what happened not long after that was I kind of disappeared from the scene. And nobody could find me or hear about me or any news about me. Excuse me. Gorilla Monsoon writes an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer, the legit magazine, a newspaper, that I was dead.
How did you find out about this obituary?
I found out that finally somebody had called me and said, my God, there's an article and Gorilla Monsoon, and lo and behold, people were having 10 bell counts. And, Houston, Paul Bosch had a 10 count, man, for me. Some other guys did. And I said, man, I need to tell some people I'm really here, And I told Gorilla, you got to retract this, man. I said, Gorilla, how'd you confirm that I was actually dead? He said, well, I called the Phoenix newspaper. I said, you guys ever hear of Billy Graham? His real name was Wayne Coleman, born here, raised here, Is he dead or alive? He said, well, we don't know. And so he called the Scottsdale newspaper, which suburb of Phoenix, real high-end art gallery stuff. You heard of Billy Graham? Yeah. Wayne Coleman, same guy. Do you know if he's dead or alive? He said, we don't even know. So Monsoon says, I just took it for granted you were dead. I said, what? Oh, so you need to write a retraction, dude.
He never did it though, right?
He wrote one, but it was like a little column on the back, inside about 50 pages deep.
Do you think that fake obituary ever hurt your return run?
No.
Mentally, were you prepared for the return with all the stuff that was going on in your life?
Nah, my heart wasn't in it. My heart was not in it. But lo and behold, 3 straight sellouts with Backlund in the Garden with a karate gimmick. And the deal is, the reason that happened, because I think the New York fans were so hooked up with me and my whole package that they gave me a pass. I just think the fans loved the character. I think they just gave me a pass. And so, but my heart wasn't in it.
What was the party scene like amongst the boys? You said you were a loner.
Oh, I was a loner. Yeah, I was a loner. But there was a lot of downers being, the Zahorian deal, bringing all of those drugs to Allentown, and it was so fitting. They would turn, had the big 50-gallon cans for garbage, big barrel, that's for oil in them or something. And they turn a big garbage can upside down. So Ray would lay his stuff out on a garbage can. It was like fitting, all these drugs on top of a garbage can. You know the deal. Yeah.
It's like a VH1 behind the music thing.
Yeah, my heavy drug use came when I made my karate deal. I didn't take a lot of steroids when I was champion. But I did take a lot of downers and a lot of sleepers and stuff like that because I was always training. But the depression, actually, after I had to lose that thing and then come back around, I'm just going to change my gimmick. I'm going to do a karate. I'm going to do a boring gimmick because I don't want to come back as superstar Billy Graham because I'm not going to win the thing back. It'd just be like another defeat with this kid here. So I thought of this karate gimmick, and I was so depressed anyway from having to give this thing up. I just really started doing drugs, man. And of course, Dr. Zahorian supplied plenty of drugs for all the guys. And so I stopped taking steroids. I got so into downers and I got deeper in depression and all the overdoses I had. I came close to dying on many occasions, drug overdoses, So, but there was a lot of drugs because of the accessibility, for one thing.
It was very easy to get. What happened the night you had to be rushed to the hospital?
Which night?
I guess the first time.
Which night? Well, here's one for the record
You
books.
talk about it in your book a lot, right?
Yeah. Here's one for the record books. Going to Worcester to wrestle. Going to Worcester, and that morning, get there that night. That morning, got there late. Took a bunch of pills. Went across the street to McDonald's. Brought some food back for my wife and I. During the karate run, and I pass out with food in my mouth and hit the floor. And the nurse, the girl at the front desk was a nurse working 2 jobs. And my wife already calls, oh my God, my husband's not breathing. He's passed out. He took all these drugs. So she came up there, man, and this nurse started pounding on my chest, beating on my chest, saying, don't you die on me. Don't you die on me, And sure enough, man, she revived me. They call the paramedics. They come and take me to the hospital in Worcester, and the show was actually in Boston. I was in Worcester, and so I said, call Vince. To the doctor to call Vince and tell the doctor that I had an allergic reaction to medication, not an overdose. Allergic? Well, yeah, it sure was allergic. All right, overdose. And so the doctor called Vince. Guess what happens? I'm booked to wrestle Superfly Snuka. Snuka has a drug problem on the same day. He's a no-show. I'm a no-show because of drugs. Now, that's one for the books, man. That's just like, what? 2 guys? Co-main event? Co-main event, yeah. Both guys are on drugs.
Lucky the press to get that one. When you left WWF this time, did you leave on good terms?
Which time?
When you left after the karate gimmick?
Oh, yeah. I'd done my run. Yeah, I'd done my run, and it was fine. And I remember Big John Studd, my last night in the Garden after this big overdose in Baltimore. And then I finally got up to the Garden for my last match, and I was just drugged out. I'd had this overdose in Baltimore the night before. Saturday night in Baltimore, Sunday was off, Monday my last night in the Garden. Saturday night in Baltimore, had the match, come out to the hotel room, start taking pills. By now it's like 6, 7 o'clock, about 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted a Coke. I wanted to get some Cokes and drinks on the machine. And I said, I'm just going to sleep the Sunday away, then fly into New York tomorrow. I took some more Valium, carelessly. Went out the machine. I was talking to my wife on the phone, so I'll be right back. Went out the machine, got the Cokes, got the ice. And by the time I got back inside the room, the Valium had hit me, and I started passing out, and I fell forward into the restroom. And I grabbed the restroom door to balance and pulled myself and cut myself wide open with the door, fell around and collapsed in the bathroom and was collapsed, wedging the door. You couldn't open the door because I was wedged between the door and the commode. So you couldn't get to me. And thank God there was a maid there that saw me fall and heard all the things. Called the office. This guy can't get this guy in. They came in the room. They couldn't open the bathroom door. I'm out of it. Called the paramedics. Man, they chopped down the door, chopped it to pieces, got me out of there, took me to the hospital in Baltimore, and revived me. And when I'm on the table, the nurse, the head doctor, really is a female doctor, the whole nurse around me pulled my blood. So I said, Mr. Graham, why do you have so much Valium in you? She said, we think you tried to commit suicide because there's too much. You have too many drugs. You just don't take this many drugs and live. Well, how come you have much Valium in you? I said, well, because I have a lot of anxiety, and I need, Valium. So why do you have so many pain pills in you? I said, well, I'm in pain. I'm a wrestler. I've always got pain. And they said, well, you also have X amount of sleeping pills in you. Why do you have so many sleeping pills? I said, well, I can't sleep. And you also have amphetamines in you. So, well, I got to get up in the morning, and all of the stuff, man. And they said, well, we think you try to take yourself out. I'm all hooked up to IVs and everything here. And we're gonna keep you for a couple of days. I went, really? Guess what? Tomorrow night, this is Sunday afternoon, so tomorrow night I gotta be in Madison Square Garden and wrestle. They said, well, we can't let you go. Well, we're gonna keep you here for a couple of days. I said, well, really? Set up, ripped out the IVs, the tape, saline, stuff like that, to rehydrate you, blood going everywhere, saline. Got up, I got to leave this hospital. Oh my God. Okay, sir, Mr. Rand, please calm down. They called the security guys, they came in, took a look at me, said, no, if the guy wants to go, let him go. They said, please, sir, just sign a release. You can go. I scribbled my name on a release, went back to the hotel room. The door was shattered from the axes of these paramedics, man. And got my gear, went to the airport, flew to New York. Next day, had my last match at the Garden. John Studd said, Billy, take care of yourself. I don't want to see you dead. I was almost dead yesterday. And so it was just a horrible, horrible time,
Did anyone try to confront you about your drug use?
Nobody confronted. And they saw me, formerly in shape, the whole healthy, the whole gimmick. And now I'm a shell of myself. But no one had the courage, I guess, to say, wait a minute, superstar, what are you doing to yourself here, dude? No one confronted me. Right. No intervention.
How come you were booked in matches with guys like Jules Strongbow, where the match with them was you just walking out?
Say again?
You were booked in matches with Jules Strongbow during this time?
Jay Strongbow?
Yeah, and you would just walk out.
You mean
at the count out loss, yeah.
Count out. I don't know. Whoever finished that was. It was a finish. I don't know. I have no idea. Was that during the karate run?
Yeah, it's during the karate run.
Yeah. I don't know.
It wasn't during the superstar run. It was during the
karate run, yeah.
What happened?
TitleMatchNetwork.com